This is Bold TV. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Bold TV. Bold TV is powered by Bold Heart Initiative, Bold standing for beautiful, outstanding ladies with disabilities. We come to you every Saturday by 10:30 a.m. with great conversations on disability and its related issues. And today we have one of such conversations in commemoration of the International Day of Elimination of Violence Against Women, and for us, against women and girls with disabilities. To aid the conversation this morning, I have my lovely co-hosts and guests in the house, and they are going to introduce themselves by giving us their name, where they're based, what they do, and type of disability.
Good morning, ladies. I remain Osaki Teresa Georgie, I reside in Port Harcourt, Rivers State. Work with Fair Care Foundation, Polio Wearer, disability rights advocate. I'm so glad to be here. Thank you.
Beautiful people out there, good morning. It's good to be here once again. My name is Afyong Etum. I'm a lab scientist, medical lab scientist based in Uyo. I use a wheelchair from spinal cord injury, and I am a member of the beautiful, outstanding Ladies with Disabilities Network, Bold.
Hello, good morning, everyone. My name is Ave Aiki. I am based here in Abuja. I am an amputee and the founder Hope Alive for Possibilities Initiative, also a member of Bold. Thank you.
All right, thank you. All the way from Abuja.
All right, thank you very much. My name is Oluwatomisin Olatayo. Feels good to be here this beautiful, beautiful Saturday morning. I'm a broadcast journalist, a visually impaired person. Also, I do copywriting, also a gender and disability rights advocate. I'm based in Abeokuta, the capital of Ogun State. Awesome to be here. Thank you.
Great having you with us. So you see, the ladies are coming from different parts of the regions of Nigeria, north central, south, southwest. We are spread all over. My name is Frankie Andreesian. I'm the ED of Fair Care Foundation and also a member of Bold Hearts Network, a public health practitioner, among other things. And I'm your host for this particular episode. If you want to see past episodes of Bold TV, all you need to do is go to our social media platforms. On Facebook, we are on www.facebook.com/Bold Hearts Network. And on YouTube, you can find us on www.youtube.com/BoldTV_Bold Hearts. Why am I reeling this out? To ensure inclusion. So go there, you'll see past episodes, great conversations that have been had in the past. We have been here since 2020. All right, ladies. So the focus of conversation this morning is in commemoration of the International Day of Elimination of Violence Against Women. The theme for this particular year, 2023, is Invest to Prevent Violence Against Women. And for us, the women we are referring to are women and girls with disabilities. So turning the conversations quickly to our ladies. So we know it's commemorated every 25th of November, and today happens to be 25th of November. So it's established that every 25th of November for 10 days, for 16 days, up until the 10th of December, we have 16 days of activism, speaking on different issues, focus on elimination of violence against women. So today we have our ladies who are going to say different things. And the first question, speaking to the theme of this particular year, the theme says invest to prevent violence against women. invest to prevent violence against women. And I said women and girls with disabilities for us. So looking at the different sectors, the different parts of society, I would like to ask, starting with Afyong, because she's speaking to the nucleus of society, the family. How can the family invest to prevent violence against the girl and the woman with disability? Afyong, over to you.
Okay, thank you very much for the question. Family is something that I happen to be passionate about, because I believe that who we are and whatever we become, whoever we become, begins from that foundation. And so, considering the theme for this year's, 16 days of activism, the first spot of call where a person is first molded is in the family. The family can help a woman or girl with disability to avoid violence and can help to prevent violence against her by, first of all, giving her the kind of support she needs, emotionally, psychologically, intellectually, and physically. Because when a woman is taken care of, when she has what she needs to thrive, not just survive. I know in this economy, everybody is surviving. When she has what she needs to thrive and the environment is conducive, she's loved, she knows that she's loved, she's accepted, she knows that she doesn't have to, she's not treated based on performance, the relationship is not transactional. Believe me, it will equip her so that when she goes out there, she knows that this is how I should be treated. The family is the first model. The members of the family are the first model of what, how she should be treated. So that when she steps out, if someone treats her differently, it is easy for her to identify that this is wrong. And because she has been equipped, she has been made to know that her self-esteem has been built up. She will know to value herself. And then when she goes out there, she will know not to accept certain behaviors towards her. And then, not just for the girl child, for the boy child also at the family level, the boy child should be raised and taught how to interact with his female counterparts. It should not just be taught, it should be modeled. Like a coach I know says parenting is caught, is not taught. Most times children would mirror what they see, not what you say. So if the boy child is raised to know that a woman should be cared for, a woman should be respected, a woman should be cherished and valued, and it is modeled for him to see by the male members of the family, he will also grow up to behave in the same way. So it goes both ways. The family is very crucial in laying that foundation before the girl child steps out. Thank you.
All right, awesome. So great points said there with respect to modeling behavior so that the girl child begins to know how to be treated and expects to be treated right so that she's able to identify and, in other words, prevent violence. So families must invest in ensuring that right behavioral patterns are established early on for the boy child with disability, the girl child with disability, the boy children in the house without disability, really everyone in that specific area. So speaking of the larger society, because the truth of the matter is that as much as we want to shelter a girl child with disability or a woman with disability, the reality is that we must interact with the larger.
All right, I'll speak on the society, the larger part. Like my colleague just said, of the nucleus family, the family. So let me talk about the society. Hello? Okay, so let me continue. So I would say that concerning the team, I would like society to encourage people and organizations to support and invest in women's rights organizations to end violence against women and girls. Now, these women rights organizations are like our network, Bold Hearts Initiative. So a network of this kind, civil organization, public offices, to see how much they can encourage this kind of networks when it comes to prevention against prevention of violence against women, and also to align and invest in women's organization with better legislation, persecution of perpetrators, more service for survivors, and training for law enforcement officials. So all of this in the society should have all of these attributes so that we can be able to prevent violence against women and get on. Also in social media forum, there should be like maybe jingles and so short videos so that they can also create, so that people know that when you commit violence against women and girls, it's a criminal act. It's not just you feel like doing it, but there's also the law against you. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Osaki, for that great conversation around the society and how they can invest to prevent. So I'm going to take you quickly to Ave. Let's talk to the government. How can the government invest to prevent violence against women? Go ahead, please.
The part of the government should, we have them very, and the attention should be focused on the perpetrators of this violence. It shouldn't be the victims, because in the time past, victims are being more shamed, and so we are calling on the government to bring up activities that will not focus on the victims but the perpetrators of this act. And the policies are on ground. For instance, we have the BAP Act. How many states have domesticated the act, and not just how many states are working in implementing the act, making sure that what is stated in the act is being carried out. And also the information agencies we have in the country, what are they doing? What are they doing to make sure that perpetrators of this act are brought? It's when perpetrators are being punished that you see survivors will be out there to go and report. If they are being abused or if they have not been punished, people will not want to go out, especially women and girls with disabilities who want to go out to report, because they know that even if they report, they will be done and their family will be shamed for. So that act of blame shaming should stop. Other activities should be carried out to make sure that the perpetrators are.
All right, thank you, Ave. Your network was a bit, I don't know if it's mine but it was going in and out. But I think we got the gist of the matter. We have laws in place and policies to protect women and girls from violence. However, the issue lies in the implementation of these laws and the systems available or working to perpetrate justice for victims or survivors of violence. So government needs to begin to strengthen systems. We need our justice system strengthened, etc., etc. Let's turn this quickly over to others that are working. So we have the public sector and we have the private sector, but I want to speak to other civil society organizations. And Tomisin, this is where you come in. In the work that we do, we have women rights organization, we have disability rights organization, we have all sorts of civil society organizations. So how can they invest to prevent violence against women and girls with disabilities? Tomisin.
Thank you very much for that one. And I would say, I would start by commending civil society organizations, because a lot of these things, we are talking about them right now because these people, are there, they are working. Otherwise, if it's left between the people and the government, only heaven knows what we would or might be discussing right now. So kudos to them. But what I would say is that we are investing to ensure that violence against women and girls with disabilities is a thing of the past. It means that they have to intensify effort, continue to create awareness, continue to create safe homes for these women, safe, inclusive homes. Because when we say women who are, facing violence, we're not just talking about women without disabilities. We are also talking about women with disabilities. So creating an inclusive environment where these women can approach your organization, where these women have, all it takes to thrive in your organization is also key here. And for, organizations of and for persons with disabilities, I would say that creating that awareness, creating an environment where women can come together and have conversations and empower themselves with, realities of life, share experiences. One thing I've discovered about sharing experience when you have an avenue to share your experience is that it strengthens you and it also strengthens someone else. So it's something that civil society organizations, either of or for persons with disabilities, should also look into. That way, we would, be putting in more to ensure that our women are no longer violated. And whenever they are, they find places to go to for help.
All right. Thank you so much for that contribution. Yes, we applaud the third door and the role that they have played in ensuring that issues around violence have come up strongly, especially during the COVID-19 pandemic. Issues of gender-based violence became so pronounced, and it was great to see that women with disabilities were not left out of the conversations that were going on, and that has continued. So women rights organizations must continue to ensure that they include in the conversations women with disabilities. All right, so we're going to I would like to speak to some persons in the different sectors before I turn the conversation back to them. Everyone that offers a service who is along the gender-based violence response is very important in ensuring that we prevent. Because if a girl with disability comes to a law enforcement agent and she is first of all ridiculed or made to feel bad about the situation, the likelihood of her speaking up or reportage becomes even lower. So members of law enforcement sector need to understand that they play a key role in prevention and not blame shaming. We also have persons in the health sector who would speak to the issues of GBV as opposed to looking for the reason why, or thinking that women with disabilities are asexual and who is the one looking for this one as well. Things like that have a way of making a cycle of muting the woman with disability and now not allowing her to speak up when she experiences it. And so many other persons, people in the religious sector, our faith leaders, key people in continuing to speak for and against issues of violence as it affects women, including women and girls with disabilities. So I'd like to speak about a specific demographic, and those are our male counterparts. And I'll throw this conversation to just one person. Afyon, do you think men have a role to play, the male gender, do they have a role to play in investing to prevent? And to a great extent, what is this role? So just keep it brief and quickly respond. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. Yes, indeed, our men have a critical role to play, because in most cases where violence is perpetrated against women and girls with or without disabilities, the men are often, the majority of culprits are our male counterparts, unfortunately. And so it is very critical that they are also partners with the women to help to pass across the message, not just partnering in terms of, speaking out against it, but also from I spoke about the family, being able to get the right information so that for the adults, they can model it for the younger generation so that we can put a stop to the cycle of violence. If the men are the ones supporting the women, fewer men will be likely to perpetrate violence against women because they would see that there is a different way. Many men need to be equipped. And, the problem is usually the fact that, in most cases, anger management. So many men need to be equipped with the skills to manage their emotions so that they are able to, find healthy ways to express these emotions rather than, suppressing it and letting it fester to become aggression and ultimately, violence against those who are weaker. So I think our men, need to equip themselves. They need to be educated. They need to learn. They need to unlearn what they have known that no longer serves them. And they need to learn how new ways of communicating, of interacting with the, opposite gender, so that this cycle can stop.
That is that key part of educating, learning and unlearning, because some men grow up in households where they don't know any better. That's what they have been, the word you use, the modeled. That's what they have seen their fathers do, their grandfathers do. So to them, they have internalized that it is normal to treat a lady like this. And imagine when disability intersects with gender, and woman with disability is now doubly disadvantaged. Unfortunately, a lot of our ladies get into very wrong relationships, and that intimate partner violence is a recurring issue for women with disabilities. So yes, men have a role to play. They have a role as protectors to protect women and girls with disabilities, and to also join as champions to prevent and eliminate violence against women and girls with disabilities. So today we are speaking to our male counterparts, men with disabilities, men without disabilities. Champion elimination and prevention of violence. Protect the women that are around you, especially women with disabilities. A person should not be there and a woman is being violated. It is an error. So yeah, man, our online, our champions, our whatever, our partners, just protect. Think protection, think prevention. Whether not your girl or no be your girl, just think protection or prevention. Okay, so let me turn this over to ourselves, because as usual the gist is nice, but we're running out of time. Ladies, we're going to ask us, let's bring the glass or the lens back to us. How can we, women with disabilities, invest to prevent violence among our peers, among ourselves, our fellow women?
Women with disabilities, we can prevent violence against ourselves by loving ourselves. Capacity building is very important. In information, you love yourself to the extent as if any small thing that tempers with your mental health, you will know that this is not healthy for you. Because when you don't love yourself and you don't treat yourself, you don't see yourself as worthy of being treated good, or as being treated as the queen that you are. Any man can trample on you, and you will feel it that he's making you a favor or doing you a favor. So first of all, we women with disabilities, we really have to love and treat ourselves right. Look at yourself in the mirror every day and tell yourself that you are more than enough. Anybody that does not want you the way you are does not deserve you. So by so doing, we are preventing that harm that is supposed to come to us. You see this love of a thing, this man love of a thing. It's not everybody that will enjoy and will get that. So if you see that it is hurting you, please just excuse from it. Build yourself and add value to yourself first. Your first holistic first.
Awesome. She has said many things. Love yourself so that you can be treated right. We're speaking about prevention. And prevention means that, number one, you see red flags in a relationship and you're able to love yourself enough to step out of that toxic space. Prevention is that you don't even enter if you know that this is going to be very patronizing, because whether we like it or not, we have creeps, we have devotees. That's a whole different conversation. Some people don't know that people are attracted to women on wheelchair, not because they love them, but they're interested in that woman just because she's on a wheelchair, meaning that it can be any woman and they will follow. A different conversation. All right, let me turn the conversation over to Tomisin.
Okay, so as women with disabilities, get a skill. I mean, gone are the days where we have to rely on our disability for not working or for not doing a particular business or anything. Empowerment for the woman is not negotiable. You cannot just sit down in the house doing nothing. And so just get something doing, no matter how small, even if it is volunteering, even if it is, selling something on the small scale. Just do something, because a lot of times when women are violated, they do not want to leave that relationship because of their economic power. They're like, okay, if I leave, how do I get to sustain? Who do I turn to? How do I feed? How do I take care of myself? So these are some of the reasons why a lot of women would stay in an abusive, toxic relationship. Another thing I want to say is that just like we are doing right here on Bold TV, older women, experienced women in the disability community should not be afraid to share their experience or stories, whether it is that of violence or not, with younger women. Should not be ashamed to put them aright with your own experience, because we all know that experience is the best teacher. So do not be afraid to mentor, to pull somebody up by the hand and show them the right way to do things, and probably identify some of these red flags and be able to walk them out of a toxic relationship. You are not helping them leave their husband or boyfriend, but you are helping them to be better persons, better woman. You notice that if a woman is in a toxic relationship, it affects every sphere of her life. Your colleagues, your boss, your neighbors, everybody is affected. Your children. Because I hear some women say, now because of my pikin I did it, that child is also affected, because any little thing you pass aggression, any little thing, something where you could just have a conversation with the child, now beating, not the spanking, beating, because you are not in your right frame of mind. So these are my, ways by which women with disabilities can invest to prevent violence against themselves. Thank you.
Awesome, fantastic points made there, and I'm sure you've heard what she has said about role modeling by way of older women mentoring positively the younger ladies with disabilities. And I'd like to flip that and say that young ladies with disabilities, don't think that I tell people, don't advise people, just give counsel so that they can have all the information to make the right decisions. And I would really encourage young ladies with disabilities to also listen to counsel when it comes from people that you respect. They're not doing it because maybe they are married and they don't want you to marry, or they're not doing it because they are not married and they don't want you to. Oh no, there's no suspicion. Especially if you trust a person, listen to information, take counsel, and make an informed decision. Right, Osaki, quickly please also share how we can invest to prevent. If you are there, if you're not there, Afyong, take the floor. Thank you.
Okay, I would like to say, most of what we have talked about, I've noticed that I know the men are guilty, like 80% guilty, but let's not kill them all. They are some good ones.
Did you do the research? You didn't do the research.
No, I'm just saying a majority of them are guilty. But I want to also point out that it's not only men who are involved in, that are involved in violence against women and girls. Other women or girls can also be perpetrators of violence. For example, caregivers, even in the family space, familiar people who are women and girls like you have been known to also affect, perpetrate violence. So I would say set boundaries, regardless of gender, whether it's a man or a woman, have boundaries. Value yourself enough to know that even a house, when you build a house, you put a fence around it. Why? So that it will deter people, not just anybody can walk in. So for yourself, boundaries are like a fence. Set those boundaries. Let people know how far they can come and no further. Not everybody can come in there. So, you should have, like, if you've been in, done science, they should have different circles. The closest one, there's only few people that can enter. Then you categorize people in your life and know that this one, someone cannot visit you for the first time and you allow them into your bedroom. That is not correct. So have boundaries, know how far people can go, learn to say no. If somebody does something and you're not comfortable with it, do not hesitate. Don't say, if I say no, they won't like me. Say no. You are important, more important than anybody else. So put yourself first. Set those boundaries and respect them yourself so that other people will also respect you.
All right, awesome conversations and great points listed there. Perpetrators of violence are not necessarily members of the opposite sex. Women can also be perpetrators of violence against fellow women. We have seen cases in the case of female genital mutilation, where the perpetrators of that form, yes, and it is a form of abuse, where those the persons that were found to be the perpetrators or insisting on those traditional norms were actually older women in the communities. They did not know that it was wrong. They didn't know that there were any health implications. As far as they were concerned, they had done it. So therefore, my children and my children's children must do it. So let's be careful that we are not perpetrating abuse. I've also seen where women who are well off, women with disabilities who are well off, they lose compassion, they lose empathy, and then they become more like aggressors even to their fellow women. So you need to watch that you are not meeting psychosocial, psychological abuse in any form, or meeting any form of abuse against a fellow woman. And of course, she mentioned another key issue, and I'm hoping that we're listening, because we're not just saying this thing because we know it all, but on Bold TV we're here to share because we care, and because we also know that not a lot of these conversations are happening, and that is why we insist on having them. All right, Osaki, jump in quickly so that we can begin to wrap up this episode.
Okay, my contribution is that one, I'll get informed, because information is key to hurry up. Then the other, I thought, try and notice the red flags. Also get busy, either a skill or get a job. I'll join a support network like Bold Heart Initiative. And finally, support women that are victimized. This comes with women supporting women. So if anybody is victimized because of violence, you try and see how you can bring the person out of that scenario, or help them to speak out. Don't shut the person down, but see how you can really help them come out of that scenario. Thank you.
Awesome. Great points in a short time. Great points in a short time. And I'm sure you've heard her. So I want to challenge, because the theme for this year is invest to prevent. And in investing, you can invest in yourself. So if you have not learned anything, and I want to challenge you to learn something or do something for yourself. Probably read a book, learn a new skill, learn a new song. Just do one new thing for yourself. Just invest in yourself. Buy a shoe, just do one thing. It doesn't even have to be too much. Some people have not even bought Coke for themselves this year. They are waiting for who to come and buy them Coke. Just do one thing for yourself. It has a way of making you feel just really good when you're able to give to yourself, and you're able to invest in yourself. I've seen people who need a skill, they have the funds to do it, and they don't do it because of disability has taught them that everything must be free. You need to scrap that. If you see that something is going to be value adding to you and it has a cost and you can afford it, I encourage you to learn to invest in yourself, and learn in investing in your career path, personal development, professional development. These have a way of also preventing violence. We've had great conversations, ladies, and I want to thank you particularly for taking your time out to join your voice on 16 Days of Activism, celebrating the International Day of Elimination of Violence Against Women and Girls with Disabilities. So we have brought to you great conversations. And we at Faker Foundation, we're going to be doing a baking skills learning. So if you're in Port Harcourt, reach out to our office. We're going to be doing that in the course of next week so that I can come and learn a skill. We're going to be doing a training on the 2nd of December. If you're interested, reach out to Osaki's here. Reach out and participate. It's all about equipping ourselves to prevent violence. So ladies, we've had an amazing time. And I know that normally I would reel out the YouTube and all that, but I know I've said it at the beginning. Check us out on YouTube, check us out on Facebook, write to us and our inbox with our email, wholeheartsnetwork.info@gmail.com. Until we get to you, same time, Saturday, 10:30 a.m. We leave you with love, peace, joy, and bubbling and everything. So ladies, just unmute your mic and say bye-bye, 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 bye-bye.
Bye, everyone. Happy weekend to us all. Bye.
Bye. Have an amazing week. Invest in yourself.
Bye.
Bye. All right. Thank you.
Bye. See you.
This is Bold TV.